This is Tracy, and welcome to the Woman Within You podcast. I have a special guest with me today. Hi, Brittnee.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm so happy to be here.
You're happy to be here. I'm happy to have you. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about friendship.
Friendship.
Okay. Yeah. So this should be interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So before we begin, I just want to I'm going to define the word friend. So the dictionary lists friend as a person attached to another by feelings or affection or personal regard. The dictionary also says a person who gives assistance, patron, or supporter. A person who is on good terms with another, and a person who is not hostile. A member of the same nation, party, or etc. So that's the word friend. So let's define friendship. Friendship is the emotions or conduct of friends, a relationship between friends. So what do you think about that? So that was the dictionary's definition. So what do you think? How would you define friends or friendship?
Well, I value friendships a lot. I value relationships in general a lot. So for me, a friend is somebody that's loyal. A friend is somebody that is supportive, but, gives good advice and, is real with me when I need them to be real, but in a supportive way, in a loving way, in a conditional way. So that's how I look at it.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. And, I feel like sometimes when you become adult, friendship looks differently than when you're a teenager or when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
I feel like all of us want the type of friendships that we had when we were younger,
Right.
but we have to realize that friendships change over the years. And I have to be honest, I have been going through it.
No, I get it.
It's like, I really don't know. And, for me as a friend, I feel like I'm very supportive as a friend. I'm always there. I don't care what time of night it is. You can pick up the phone. You can call me. You could text me, but I probably won't respond to the morning if I'm sleeping.
Right.
But I just feel like I'm very supportive. But I feel like sometimes it's not reciprocated, or I feel like I'm being used at times.
I absolutely agree with that. Like, I think for me, I wouldn't even say as a child, I had interesting relationships even in childhood experiences where they were very seasonal. And I learned that I might feel strongly about someone and they didn't feel the same way. So I kind of understand what you're saying. And I've also learned that over time, I learned that my priorities and values and morals were different from other people that I would try to connect with. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm somebody like you, girl. You call me at 3:00 in the morning and like upset. I'm going to answer. I'll be like, I'm going to have sleep. Well, what happened? Girl, do I need to get in my car? Like, and but I realized that wouldn't be the other way around for some people. Some people won't even respond. They'll wake up, they're up. You'll see them on social media. You called them, and you're like, I definitely was going through something last night, and you're definitely awake right now. Maybe you weren't awake then, but now you're awake. And so it's kind of one of those things where I feel like sometimes I put in a lot and might not get the same thing back.
Yes.
And then I feel like sometimes I might feel strongly about somebody, and I realize when it was the other way around, the same way I would think they would respond didn't happen.
Right.
So that disappointment, yes.
Right. You're right. And so that word disappointment is very interesting that you use that, because our dictionary definition talks about a person that's not hostile and or a person who gives assistance and or patron and or is a supporter. Now, I feel like for me, there's always been a lack of support within my closeness. Like, you may have people and, you probably feel the same way I do in the sense that we have a lot of associates.
Right.
But like, can you really name your friends?
Right.
And when I pull out a pen and paper and I start writing down names, I'm a little hesitant, because it's like, okay, if I think about friendship and I think about how I treat that person or how I behave in that relationship, I would want it to be reciprocated. And so my mom always says, oh, you have fair weather friends, or oh, you have one-sided friends. Yeah, she says that to me.
Fair weather friends. That's
fair weather, right? It's old school,
fair weather.
Right? And it's just like, I used to say, Mom, what are you talking about? I couldn't see it. I didn't get it. But I have to be honest, over the past year, I have lost some people that were in my life that were really close to me. Mm-hmm. And I think that for me, I've always kind of been like status quo. So like if something was bothering me, or I was hurt by something, or I felt like you weren't supporting me, I would just move on. And like I would keep all of that bottled up inside of me. But for some reason this year, I've had a few things happen, a few really good things happen in my life. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like I wanted my friends to be like, oh my gosh, yes, you finally accomplished your goals. Congratulations, you did it. And I didn't get that.
Yeah, I absolutely understand that.
And it's hurtful.
Yeah.
And so for me, I wouldn't have said anything under normal circumstances, but I decided that I needed to say something because I was really hurt by it. Right. And so I literally said, I feel like you don't support me. I feel like you're not there for me. And then that was the end of the relationship. And do you know how many times I have, wrote out a whole big text message like, oh, I miss you. Oh, I want you in my life. And I didn't send it. I would say at least a dozen times. Do you understand?
Yeah. And it's sad. It's unfortunate. Like, I guess I feel like a lot of times too, I've noticed is like me going through transitions myself and realizing that people aren't happy about all those transitions, the growth or what's going on in my life. And, maybe they won't say it, but, sometimes actions are louder than words, sometimes not saying anything is saying a lot. And so I know, and you're reaching for these people and they see that. And I almost feel like the attention of them knowing that you want their attention makes them feel some type of way about that too. And they continue to go the other way. Sometimes I feel like that. I think some people aren't just have the courage to be honest and be like, this is how I'm feeling now about it, or I'm moving on. Or I know sometimes as adults, we're getting married and people getting children, people have jobs. Right. And so, it's hard. So maybe you can't get to your friend's event all the time, or you can't make everything that your friend does, or you're trying to squeeze in time, but you have to leave a little early for something because you have other events or things to go on. Because we're adults now and we have other responsibilities.
We have obligations.
We have a lot of responsibility, obligations, right? So sometimes I think, some friends aren't considerate of that or are very thoughtful or understanding towards that because they have this selfish mentality of, well, I want you here, and they feel some type of way and they're not really being open with that friend and talking about it. But I also feel like sometimes we have people that are in our lives that are low-key just jealous and won't ever say that.
See, when you say, I guess for me, I have a very hard time thinking that people would be jealous of me because honestly, I am happy for everybody. Like when you see me in Target and Walmart, whatever, I'm hugging you. I'm happy. Like I'm genuinely happy for people. So like I don't relate to that not being happy for another person because I am here. I'm there for you. I want the best for you. I'm helping you reach your goals, whether, you know what I'm saying? Like I really do try. And it's just so hurtful to me. And, and I'm not the victim, right? I don't want to be the victim,
right.
But it's just like, I want to talk about it. One of the things about me is I like to communicate, right? In a sense that if there's something going on and I ask you, do you want to have a conversation? And you say no, like that to me shows a lot. And it's just like, okay, why would you not want to talk about something if you care about me like you say you do?
Right.
But for me, I just had to let go. And to be honest with you, this is the first year that I've ever defriended people on social media. And that was hard for me. It took months. And the reason why is because not because I'm nosy or I want to see what's going on in their lives, but just because it was a trigger for me, right? It was a trigger. So every time they would post, I would like it and people would skip over my comment or something like that. And like, for me, that was a trigger because I was just like, wow, you really don't want me in your life. And I don't know what I did wrong besides say to you, I wish you supported me. You know what I mean? Because I've always supported you and then some. And now finally I want some support and they're just not there for me. And that for me, like it was hurtful. I cry and cry and cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. And maybe they're not crying over me because they don't care about me. And so I think when I finally started to realize that, that's when I said, okay, it's time for me to unfriend. It's time for me to unfollow or whatever the situation is, because every time I would see something, it was a trigger for me and it wasn't helping me as a person. It was messing with me because I would cry.
Social media is a whole nother, that's a whole global topic.
Oh my gosh, yes.
When it comes to support and things, because then it really boils down to, like, why are people following you? What's their intentions for why they decided to friend you or accept that friend request or friend request you? Because it's like, I've been learning is that everybody following me isn't there because, oh, I know Britt, I'm her friend, that's my girl Pickle. I realized that some people are following me because they're just being nosy. I realized some people are following me because, you know, they're not there to be supportive. They're just there just to see what I'm doing. And it's kind of like maybe to even use it to sometimes to talk about me. Like, you know, I think sometimes people just like, you see this, you know, like, cause like I don't know about it. Of course, I'm making an assumption right now about that part, but I would definitely say that I've definitely been in public and I've made I've posted something, get like me a few likes, whatever. But I will go see that person in public or some people in public, and they'll ask me about something I posted. I'm like, oh, so you did see it?
Okay.
Oh, so you know. I had one person come up to me and was asking me why I was going to so many galas last year. And I was like, well, we definitely seen all those posts, and you definitely didn't like any of them.
So you think that sometimes people that are on your social media page just to see what you're up to, not because they actually care and or they're a supporter or a real friend.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's different. I mean, and I know, and then like, yes, I have seen it the other way around where people will comment or something and people will skip and ignore people's comments. Right. I have seen that. That's very so petty, and it's so petty. And it's just kind of like, I've noticed that kind of stuff, and I just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna delete, block, whatever I gotta do. Because
so you find it easy to delete and block people?
Sometimes, yes, I do. Sometimes I have a few people I sit on the fence and I'm like, do I need to let this friend go or nah? Like, you know, even with your phone, you're like, do I need to delete this phone number or nah? You're scrolling, you know, all you gotta do is select and delete. When you have Apple though, you have an iPhone, they always want to keep the number, no matter what you do. But
Android too.
But overall, you're like, the fact that I'm sitting here and wasting my energy, wondering if this is a real friend, if this person's loyal to me, this person really there for Brittnee or there for Miss Patrice or whatever, it's like, is that also a sign that that's time for that to happen? Even especially when you've already reached out and tried to whatever patch up the hostility or whatever you're feeling that's not feeling right in the relationship, and it seems like that person isn't trying to fix it with you.
Yeah, it's just really hard for me. I don't know if it's because I'm loyal to a fault. Like, I'm just a loyal person in general. But it's really hard for me to press that block button. It's really hard for me to press the unfriend button. And people are like, why? Why would that be hard for you? And I don't know, why is it hard for me? I mean, I don't have any hostility. I have love for everyone that used to be my friend, and maybe we've fallen out. And also, we have to understand that everyone's not meant to go where we're going, right? There's a season for everything. Right. There's a reason for everything. And unfortunately, seasons end. And we may not want them to end, but they end. Right. And I recently saw a video from Sarah Jakes Roberts.
I love her.
Right, me too. She should probably be our wonderful woman of the week because she is amazing. Yes, wow. Yep, and what a story.
What a story. Yes.
So, you know, she was just saying that sometimes, like, you have to let go. And the moment you let go, you'll realize that A, you're free, and B, your life starts to take a different toll. And I know for so many years, I'll say like maybe the last 3 or 4 years, my prayer has been, Lord, can you send some people to me that are going to A, love me unconditionally, love me for all of me, right? And can support me and can show me what real friendship is like, because I feel like maybe I haven't had as much experience with real friends. Right. I even kind of flashed back to my days in college when I got pregnant, and I was surrounded by people, and I had a car, so maybe they were using me for my car and they didn't have, I don't know. But I even flashed back to those moments when, I got pregnant and it was shameful for me, and how I had nobody to reach out. Matter of fact, I had one person, I won't mention her name on here, but I had one person that was there for me. Everybody else abandoned me. And, I was already shamed. I was already feeling like I had, I was already alone, right? But prior to me getting pregnant, I was surrounded by people. Right. So where were those friends? When it was time to go party, everybody was there. But when you're going through, nobody's there for you. Right. And the craziest thing about it is, someone said to me, you don't find out who your true friends are until you get sick. And I thought that was very interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's almost like you want to have an application for everybody who's trying to be your friend. What's your intention with me?
Well, you don't remember on the Real Housewives of Atlanta how Cynthia gave Nene a friend contract?
Wait,
man, we should draft up a friend contract. Listen, you got to meet these criteria before we let you in our lives.
Yeah.
Like, wait, she might have been on to something.
She might have been on to something. We thought she was just being petty and dramatic, but maybe, yeah. I agree, though. I think it started wondering, like, what was your intentions for why, you know, you were attracted to me and wanted to have a relationship with me. I think that's kind of important, too, because if you're, like, doing something, because you know, there's a lot of people who are bandwagoners, too. Like, they know you're doing well with things, or they know something about you that's going well. In the state that you're at, I think sometimes they want to, you know, connect themselves. Oh, well, you know, oh, I see her on TV now. We were in class together. We did this together. Yes. Now we cool because you doing your thing. But before, nobody was talking.
Listen, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
When you was calling, when you had birthday parties, I wasn't getting no invitations. When you was calling, you know, for tea parties or you needed to vent, I wasn't the person you was calling. But now, you know, I think sometimes too when that happens, a success thing, either people want to jump on or those people who are still where they're at, but they see you're growing, I think they start feeling some type of way and want to fall off from you and back away because they feel some type of way about that. I do feel like that's what happened.
I just can't relate to that. Like, I can't, because I'm just not the type of person that's like, if I see somebody that's doing well, they're growing, they're hitting their goals, whatever those may be, I'm just so excited and so happy. And then in the same breath, I want to know, well, how did you accomplish those goals? Can you help me get there? You know, what can you show me? What can we teach each other? That has always been my motto. Like, we can, because everybody's different. We all have different talents. We all have different interests. And collectively, it's beautiful.
I agree. I think it's that whole idea of giving people the benefit of the doubt. We always want to see the good in people. We always want to give people chances. And sometimes I think we give people too many chances and we let people overstep boundaries with us because we're trying so hard to keep a relationship that clearly needs to be cut off. I think too, is like people aren't as genuine. Yeah, people aren't as genuine anymore. And like you said, if you're not like-minded, like, you might have been, maybe you personally are growing and don't realize it. So mentally, you're more ambitious, you're determined, you got these goals, you're goal setting and oriented. And some people are kind of not as strongly oriented in the same areas. So they're like, that's something I thought about, but my focus is more here because of whatever they feel about themselves and their mentality in the moment. And they see you're doing that and they're like, I want to do that, but it might feel some type of way. I think that's kind of what it is. When you find people are like-minded, like you see them as ambitious as you are with your goal, and they might be doing better or whatever. You're like, wow, what are you doing that I need to be doing? Because that's what I want to do.
Exactly.
The mentality is different versus somebody who isn't as ambitious about something.
Exactly. I don't know. It's so hard. And it's so hard. And I always feel like we work so hard to keep our romantic relationships, but we don't work as hard to keep our friendships. But then it's like I'm torn because I know that everything has a season and every season ends. So it's like, do you reach out? I'm telling you, I have written, text messages like a book and even dialed the number and, just sat staring at phone numbers like, oh my gosh, I miss this person so much. And maybe I didn't even do anything wrong, but it's like, I want to reach out. I want to tell them. I want to make it right. I'm always the person that wants to make everything right. Even if I didn't do anything wrong, I want to fix it. I'm going to apologize, even though I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that I'm perfect because I'm not. But at the same time, I literally, it eats me up inside that people don't feel the same way about me that I feel about them, You know
what makes me think about that meme? Where it's like that little kid with the little teddy bear behind his back and the guy's big hand is and you're like, but I want to keep this guy. And then the guy's waiting for you to let go of it so he gets something better. It makes me think of that because as you continue growing and you're your circle is going to change. The faces that started off with you isn't going to look the same. Maybe you're lucky to have one or two. They always say you're lucky to have one or two friends as you keep growing in your life. So you might have some familiar faces, but overall it's your circle changes because your mindset is different and you start finding people who are more like-minded. I think that's what happens.
I think that's true because guess what? For me, I have been meeting some amazing people. And look, I met you about 3 years ago. And, we just vibe, we click and everything like that. And I honestly consider you a true friend,
Thank you. But I feel the same way.
Okay. Yeah. But I have been been meeting just the most amazing women. And as I, get to know them, as I hang out with them, I'm like, is this what I've been missing out on?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have never had the opportunity or the privilege to have a group of girlfriends. Never.
Me either.
Never.
Me neither. No girls trips for me. I've never been on one.
Nope. I was just talking about that the other day. And it's so sad because that topic alone, when it comes to friends and girls, like girlfriends, is like another big topic, because I feel like girls a lot of times have envy issues with one another, but they still hang out with each other. It's a very interesting relationship, because it's like y'all talk about each other, then y'all go out and you're like taking pictures together like besties, and then and then there's like a whole bunch of cattiness that goes on, and it's just like, are we friends? It's almost like I be confused. I be ambivalent with some of my girlfriends, because I be like, are we cool? Are we not cool? Like, which one is it?
I think that social media also plays a big role in how we perceive friendships, because sometimes a picture can be all smiley and stuff like that, and that's not really what it is. Right. It's just a facade that's happening versus what it really is. Right. And so I think also we can't get caught up in that, because we don't know what goes on in real life. We just see, the highlight reel. Right. So I feel like, it definitely happens, and I definitely agree with you about like besties being friends. I guess that's where the word frenemy comes up. Yeah. But it's for me, it's just so disheartening, because I'm just not like that.
Right. No, absolutely not. Me either. I felt like, I don't know, I always just laugh at myself, because I'm always a little socially awkward. So there's like...
Really?
Yeah. So there's like social things that I don't be getting. So I'll be like I will talk to a girl I know or whatever, and I'll hear them like talking a lot of crap about one of their friends and something that they did, and they're upset. And then like, I'll see like, oh yeah, I let her borrow my clothes yesterday. And you're like, I don't get it. Like, I'm raising my hand like, teacher, so why would you hang out with her and let her borrow your clothes if you're mad that, you felt like she was talking about you to somebody else, and now you're talking about her to somebody else? Like,
yeah, see, yeah.
It's just certain things that socially I don't understand, and that's why I have close friends like you and stuff, because I'd be like, I don't get it. I'm like, wait a minute, can you explain to me people? Because I don't get people sometimes. I don't get that one.
Well, so when people go to talk about people around me, I shut that down. Right. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I will shut it down. Like, wait, hold up. And I will change the subject quick. Right. It may seem like I'm not listening, because I'm not. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. I don't want to talk about people unless it's in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So if you come at me with something negative, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to change the subject. You're going to feel like I'm not listening to you. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't always that way. I would entertain, gossip and stuff like that. But like now, I don't have time for it. I only want to see people in a positive way. And it's just like, we don't always have positive interactions. We don't always have positive experiences. But can we at least make the best of it?
That's a good point, though. Because, I also think about those friends that tell you everything someone else is saying about you to them. So you're like, you're like, wait a minute, why are they so comfortable telling you all this stuff about me?
Did they defend you?
Right.
Did they defend you in your accent?
Right. And I'll be like, and what you say? And so I think sometimes too, it's sad, because like I find myself sometimes getting a little caught up in that, because I'm like, well, what are you saying behind my back that I'm not there? Because it's like, okay, you know all this stuff about me and what you're saying. Because I start getting, I'm not gonna lie, I get a little anxiety about it, because I'm like, well, then are you really my friend? Because that's some messed up stuff. And if you didn't say nothing to defend me, I feel some type of way. Because if it was the opposite way, that would not go down that way.
It's true.
So.
It's so true. I don't know. It's just so hard. Yeah. It's hard as an adult. Absolutely. I feel like children have it so much better. And matter of fact, no, they don't. Because when we was in high school, there was always drama with girls and stuff like that. Do guys go through this? Or do they just not care?
Oh my God. That might be the next podcast.
Maybe we should ask that question. Right. Do guys have this much drama like girls? Because for me, I'm trying to keep my life drama free and stress free. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with all that I went through in 2018 with quote friends and understanding why, my love for them was stronger than their love for me, I don't want to do this anymore. So I only want to surround my people by people, surround myself with people that are going to uplift me, that are going to be supportive to me and my goals, that are going to understand me and want to understand me, are committed to, having positive interaction with me. Like, I love people's children, their families. We're all one family. We always say that friends are, friends is family that you didn't choose, that you can choose. I think I screwed that up. Friends are family that you choose, right? Because we can't choose our family, but we can definitely choose our friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Brittnee. This was a great conversation. Let's get to our affirmation for the week. So every week I'm going to do an affirmation, okay? And so this is our affirmation for the week. So let's repeat it together. Okay. I have the strength to get through anything. I am strong enough. I will keep going no matter what. I have it in me to be the best I can be. I love it. So I'm going to put this up on the website, and you're going to repeat it daily this week. And then next